Hello everybody and welcome to the Irish Zone Live. There's a protest tomorrow outside RTE. Now I am on the other channel later on tonight, 7 o'clock for Get It Off Your Chest. I just wanted to do a quick live stream here in relation to this protest. So for anybody that lives outside of Ireland, RTE is the national broadcaster in the country, and you know, I say it's a couple of months now. Well, probably not even a couple of months. Myself and others were outside News Talk, which is a radio station in relation to the COVID, but we won't get into that. But we were protesting outside there. So I seen a post by Fergus Power. He threw it up today, and he's probably seen the little video anyway. He has called for people to show up outside RTE at 2 p.m. Tomorrow. So if you're living in Dublin, of course, please try and get there. Obviously, if you're living outside of Dublin, you know, it'd be great if you could get down. I know it's kind of short notice and stuff like that, and it is the weekend and you probably all have plans, but if you can make it down, please do. We've got to look, you know, we've protested this government enough, right? We have to be changing it up, and you know, the media have been complicit as much as the government in the cover-ups that they're doing, and they're definitely doing cover-ups. There's cover-ups happening. The media do that all across Europe. They cover up some of the most heinous crimes. If they can get away with it, they will cover it up. So there is a protest happening, and we want people to try and get there. You know, I think going forward, there will be different strategies now employed when it comes to this movement. I think people are doing stuff now for themselves rather than waiting on people to call protests and to call all of these little things. People are doing it for themselves now, and that's great to see, because that's exactly what has to happen. Because if you wait on this nationalist movement, right, you're going to be waiting a long time for them to get their act together. It's been 6 weeks now since they announced the alliance, and we've had nothing in relation to the alliance. We were told over the next 4 weeks we would get some information. We've gotten zero information. Maliki today doing a video, you know, telling everybody to be vigilant and all of that. He hasn't been on social media for a while. He retweets, he disappears once in a while, but he's come back with his stupid little video, and then the Liberal them with their stupid little fucking polls, is Ireland full and all of this other bullshit, right? So all you're going to get off those guys is the usual nonsense, and you're going to get that over the next 5 years, right? Because this current government is getting back in. So what needs to happen is people in communities, Irish citizens out there that are concerned about your country, it's now up to you to act and to do all of these things, whether it's community events, whether it's protests, wherever it is, whatever it is. You all need to start coming together. I'm sick and tired of people doing videos out there from these places that refuse to help, telling people that they need to come together. These are hypocrites. These are hypocrites. You won't accept help, but yet you are telling people to come together. So, like, you know what I mean? We need to actually come together. So don't keep saying we need to come together. You know? And I'm sick of the nationalists as well. Mass deportations now. You can't just get rid of them all overnight It's not going to happen, and you'll bankrupt the country while you're doing it as well. And then your plan is, oh, we'll bring back the Irish people that left the country. Yeah, they left because there were shitty jobs, shitty houses, and shitty prospects. And then you're expecting the Irish people to come home after you get rid of all of the migrants, right? You're expecting them to come home to take the shitty jobs and all of this. It doesn't work that way. It's not that fucking simple, right? You're going to be deporting people in this country for fucking years to come and slowly reintegrating the Irish back into this country, right? Because there's a lot of work to be done before even any of that happens. But this is what I mean, right? If these clowns can't get together, right, and put out a manifesto after 6 weeks, how do you expect these clowns to actually govern this country? They're not going to be able to govern the country. They can't even fucking come together and sing Kumbaya, right? They're hopeless. They're pathetic. And I'm not going to sit here and fucking, there's loads of YouTube channels out there. Oh, yeah, the movement's doing great. We're doing this, we're doing that, right? Don't be lying to people, right? And stop with this fucking, this idealistic view of the nationalist movement. It's an absolute joke. There's infighting. They're airing their dirty laundry out in public. They can't even put a fucking manifesto together, right? And all they seem to be doing, all of the gobshites, is doing their little videos outside crime scenes and interviewing fucking people. Where's the fucking manifesto? Where's the manifesto? There is no manifesto. You can't even bleeding come to... Listen, this is a joke, right? So you have to do it for yourselves. So I'm going to say it out straight again. To all of those communities that refused help, it's now time for you to ask for that help, right? Don't be just saying words on a YouTube channel and saying we all need to come together, because if we don't, we're going to be defeated, when you are the very same people that told me that I couldn't go here, there, and everywhere because you didn't want outsiders, as you called them, coming into your place, right? Now, if you continue to have that attitude, right, then you know what? Fine. Anything that happens then will be unused just as much as the government, just as much as the left and the NGOs. That's what I will put you in the same box as them, because you aren't doing enough, right? You could accept the help and you refuse to help, right? You refuse to help. And it's ridiculous, it is. It's ridiculous, right? We're going to get nowhere. Nowhere. People are just concerned. And this whole flag thing, right? So this flag thing is happening, right? Andy Quirk, Damo and Ivor fame, right? Listen, it's an absolute joke, right? It's an absolute joke, right? These flags, right? Trying to make the country look like Italian 90. It's all a bunch of morons, right? That money that he has asked people to buy Irish flags, 10 grand he's asking for, right? That 10 grand could have fed homeless people. It could have got them tents. It could have got them sleeping bags. And I'm talking about Irish homeless people, right? It could have helped them, but no. Let's get all the Says No groups together and get them to put flags everywhere, right? Because that's going to feed someone, isn't it? That's going to put a fucking roof over someone's head. That's going to stop the plantations, isn't it? Putting a fucking flag up. Right? And then he gets the flags in fucking China. Doesn't even buy them fucking here. Right? And he's an ex-RTE employee, which to me is red flags. But you know what? You've gotten duped in this movement so many times. Kevin Sharkey and many others, some of these nationalists as well, that you voted for, turned on you as well. You never fucking see it when it's right in front of your faces that you are being led down the garden path by this Andy fella. For months he was on X inciting people to violence, he was. Right? He goes to one protest and he thinks he's William fucking Wallace and then tells people you need to rise up, this is a revolution, all of this bullshit. Right? And then when I called him out, because I called him out, what are you inciting the crowd for? What are you inciting people for? You're not going to get out there. right? So then he goes missing for a couple of weeks. Then all of a sudden, this GoFundMe comes up, and then all of this flag nonsense comes together. Do you know what this is? And all the Says No groups need to wise up and wake up. And this is why there's still infiltrators in your camp. Because the ones that are going along with this, that are telling people to go along with this, they're your spies right there. They're your rats right there. Because all of this is an exercise to pacify you all. And you are falling for a hook, line, and sinker. Again, no wonder we're going to be fucking beaten in this movement. Not one of you can fucking see what's coming. I predicted Kulak. I told people that people were going to be set up in Kulak. I joined all the dots together. I pulled it up for people, and yet people still fucking went, and it still went to shit. Right? So how many times do you have to be led down the garden path by these people? Right? Fucking flags are going to do nothing. Right? All it is an exercise to distract you all from the real issues that are going on in this country. And that 10 grand could have fed homeless fucking people. Right? It could have got them tents. It could have got them food. Right? And the cheek of that cunt as well, anyway, to be asking people for money. I'm not saying he's a multi-millionaire. We all know who his family is. Dr. Quirky's in town in Dublin City, O'Connell Street. Right? That money, that family has money. Right? And the fact that he's asking for fucking money off you hard-working people and people that can hardly fucking feed their kids or pay their electric bill, and he's asking for money so he can fucking make the country look like Italia 90. What a fucking stupid idea there is. There's plenty of time to be fucking patriotic and to fly your fucking flags. Right now, we've got homeless people in this fucking country that are gonna fucking end up fucking dead in the next couple of fucking months when this harsh winter comes in, and you just want to waste your time with flags. Flags ain't stopping kids from being assaulted, women from being assaulted, men from being assaulted, the country from being planted. Right? It's gonna do fuck all. Flags. Get the fucking boat. I have me tricolour up the last, I say it's up 3 years now on me window with me Dublin flag and me Irish Republic flag. Right? I remember when I put them up at first, some of the neighbours were kept walking by and kept looking, and they were making faces, and I was just waiting on one of them to say something. But I've got those 3 flags still flying up there, and they're staying there. Right? But you don't need to be wasting money on flags, right? You could have got children to paint fucking green and fucking orange on fucking A4 paper and stick them up on your fucking windows, right? You don't need to be wasting money on flags. You should have used that money to feed the fucking homeless. But I get your game. I know what you're about. I know what you are, Andy, right? And you have everybody fooled, but you don't have me fooled. I know exactly what you're up to, right? You are doing the dirty work for these people. You're pacifying all of these people, right? When you did your inciting because you were asked to incite, like Conor McGregor with his stupid post. See, everybody needs to wake up. Do you not notice they were all inciting a few months back? Everybody, oh, the Irish need to rise up. And then when places were being burned, Conor McGregor was coming out with his nonsense. So was Andy. Right, he's WEF bullshit and all of this. We know about the WEF, but he keeps repeating the same post over and over. Right, kept inciting the crowd over and over. And then when that didn't work, when Irish people didn't react the way they wanted to, they changed their tactic. And this flag thing is just another change of fucking tactic. It's to distract you from what's going on in the fucking country. So while yous are all around, all over Ireland, putting up these are stupid fucking flags, right? Places in this country are going to be fucking planted right under your noses. These are the kind of wasters you need to be ignoring, right? He's an ex-RTE, right? I don't care what you all say. Ex-RTE to me is bad news, right? It's bad fucking news. Yeah, he's looking for another 6 grand. He's got some fucking nerve. He's got some nerve, and it has to be called out, guys. Guys, that money could be. Listen, guys, you know what I mean? I'm all for tricolours. Don't get me wrong. Italian 90 was. I'm being honest. It was brilliant, right? It was. And if you grew up that era, you can understand what they're trying to do here. But is that going to save the fucking country? Is that going to feed homeless people? Is it going to stop the plantation? Is it going to stop our kids from being put in danger, or women? Young men. We saw the incident there in Galway, wasn't it? Where a young Irish lad was attacked and then he got street justice by the Irish travellers. One thing, you never mess with Irish fucking travellers, by the way. Especially Irish travellers. You don't fucking mess with Irish travellers. And they did what many people in this country don't have the backbone to fucking do. Right? They delivered street fucking justice. And that's the way it should be fucking be. If the Gardaí are not going to protect and the government are not going to protect, they're going to keep ignoring. Right? But all of this is happening under your noses, and then you got certain people in this movement that are distracting you all, and you don't even fucking see it. Do you know what? I'm fucking getting sick and tired of all of this. Right? You all fucking cop on and wake up to what's going on around you. Right? You are being distracted. Fuck the flags. There's plenty of time to make Ireland look like fucking Ireland and have tricolours all over when we fucking win. When we have victory. Right? Then we have something to celebrate. Until then, we're on a war footing. End the fucking story. So stop the fucking nonsense with the flags and feed fucking people out there. Could you imagine? Right? And this is the difference. And this is why I'm bringing this up. Right? Think about it logically, guys. Right? Imagine if I set up the GoFundMe and asked for 10 grand for flags. How do you think that would go down? How do you think that would go down? It wouldn't go down very well, right? It wouldn't go down at all. Right, but because he was in a TV show, right, that made everybody laugh a few years ago, it's okay for him to do it. And fair enough, he's given receipts. Right, he's given receipts, fair enough. But that 10 grand could have got sleeping bags, could have got tents, could have got food. Right? To help Irish homeless people. And that's why I'm angry about this. So I don't know what is going to make people wake up in this country, right? But you got Maliki coming out now, stoking the tensions as he usually does with a video, you know, telling everybody to be vigilant and all of this. But here, you're part of an alliance. You were supposed to bring out a manifesto. You're supposed to come up with a plan because the government isn't. So how are you going to stop this? Right? You want us to vote for you, but you haven't given us any indication what you would do if you were in government. So you obviously know you aren't going to get into government anytime soon. That's why you haven't fucking produced a manifesto. That's why you haven't produced a manifesto. That's why you're wasting everybody's time, which is just stupid little videos and getting distracted writing fucking emails and letters to a government that have already told you that they're not going to communicate with you. Like, I mean, I don't get you. Right? I don't get you. Right? You know, I'm starting to think some of you guys in the nationalist movement are fucking, you know, controlled opposition. And you don't actually want to fucking help the Irish people. You're only in it for your own self-interest. Because you aren't doing enough. You aren't doing enough. Right? And we're, you know, people are looking for hope right now. People are looking for some sort of fucking miracle. And you guys are not going to deliver. I know you aren't going to deliver. I know that this general election is not going to work out the way you want it and the way you have everybody fooled that it's going to go. You actually think because 10,000 people turn up at a protest that those 10,000 people are going to automatically vote a nationalist, right? Even with 10,000, how many millions of people are actually in fucking Ireland, right? So if you think 10,000 votes, 10,000 people that turn up at a protest are going to make a difference in the general election, well, then you're so fucking naive, I don't even know why you're running. Because you lack the intelligence to see what's in front of you, right? We should be further along. This movement should be further along. But it's being run by headless fucking chickens who air their dirty laundry for everybody to see on X and on social media. Like, they can't even work together. And these people have put an alliance together, apparently. Right? And we're still waiting 6 weeks down the line, no manifesto, after telling us over the next 4 weeks we'd get one. Right? So they're just wasting people's time. They're wasting people's time. So it's up to you. So I know someone in the chat said protests don't do that, and right, they don't. Not going to protesting the government. But the media have to feel the heat now, right? The media get a lot of stick on social media, but there hasn't been many protests outside media organisations. Now, there has been a few, but RTE is where most of the misinformation comes from, and obviously News Talk. But we were in News Talk. We were at News Talk a couple of months ago. You've probably seen the videos that I threw up of News Talk. We were outside protesting outside News Talk. But RTE is the main culprit of all of this. So while people might say that protesting doesn't work, you're right. Protesting the government doesn't work. So you got to change it up. So we protest the media and the NGOs themselves, right? We need people outside IPAS centres as well, protest outside IPAS centres as well. We need to change it up now because the current tactic of protesting the government's not working. But we need, listen, you know, it's going to get to a point that if we start going outside all of these IPAS centres, listen, the public order unit are scum, so we know what they're going to do, but the media will be there. But the good thing for us is that it brings attention to all of these IPAS centres all across the country, and then people can actually see the true nature of how bad it is in this country. But we've got to change it up. But as I said, people are being distracted by all of these little nonsense tactics that some people in this nationalist movement are employing. I mean, imagine, I still can't get over spending 10 grand on tricolours from China, and people think that's a great idea. When that 10 grand could have got tents and sleeping bags for Irish homeless people, and not just in Dublin. You know, if he changed that campaign and it was to feed Irish people, I can guarantee he would have reached the 10,000 mark. Easy. Because Irish people will always help. But they do. They mightn't, like, you know, you do get some that will walk past homeless in the streets and all of that. But the majority of Irish people have always shown that they're very gracious with their donations. We've seen it throughout the history of this country when there's been a campaign to either save a kid. Do you remember that campaign on RTE to save that little kid? He went to America for an operation. School kids and all gave their lunch money and everything to help that kid, and they raised the money for him to go to America. Ireland has always been very generous. We've actually, I think we're up there as one of the top countries when it comes to donations, and being very charitable. And yet we get the most stick off people out there because apparently, you know, we should be doing more. We do way more than enough, you know. Yeah, Philip Dwyer has been doing some great work. He asked everybody to share it, so I'll put all these links there as well. Buy him a coffee and all of his other stuff is in the link description. I also put it in the live chat while the video was going as well. But if you just want to go and support Philip Dwyer, he is nowhere to. All the links are there anyway to support him. So we have it has to be changed up. So as I said, Fergus put up a post. Fergus Power put up a post. There's a protest happening outside RTE tomorrow at 2 p.m. So if you can all get there, please do, because you know, it's vital that we show RTE that we know who is also complicit in all of this. So if you can get to Dublin for 2 o'clock tomorrow outside RTE, all well and good. If you're living in Dublin, obviously get to RTE. It's important that we show strength of force, man, because, you know, RTE and all the media in this country are complicit in putting a target on your back. They're complicit in not reporting what's really happening in this country, and they're also complicit in helping these migrants, as we've seen with other media outlets. And we know that the media have set us up in places like Coolock and Newtown, Mount Kate, because they just happened to be all down there when it kicked off. So they knew that something was going to kick off in those places because they would have been informed. So RTE are just as much as complicit as these NGOs and the government and the TDs that are all for this. And it's about time that there's some sort of protest outside of RTE. They need to know how angry the Irish people are. The government know, as I said, but that strategy is not working. We did a protest outside Garda HQ, as you know, recently, and now, you know, this. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting few months. The general election is coming this year, by the way. It's going to happen. So, you know, we got to do something. So look, if we don't, you're going to see more incidents like in Galway. And I'm talking about these lads beating up the Irish lad. And we see it all across the country. We see our young lads and girls being bullied and being knocked out and stuff. This has been going on a long time, and it's been tolerated for a long time. But it can't be tolerated no more. But the media are not doing their job. If the media were reporting on this, it put pressure on the government to do something. And this is the whole point. We got to start putting pressure on the media. They're supposed to be they're supposed to be the people that inform us. Now, look, I'm under no illusion. The media has always been propaganda, right? Ever since I've grown up, it's always been propaganda. The media have only told you, and you know, when you're younger, you're naive, and you think that the media tell you the truth all the time and report everything. But as you get older, you realize it's all bullshit, and then you realize that the media only tell you what they want you to know, and they don't tell you what you should know. So this is why it's important for us to put pressure on the media now. They've got to know that we're done now with our bullshit. We're done with our lying. And, you know, the bottom line is that all of these media organizations need to know who's in charge of this country. And who's in charge of this country is the people of Ireland, right? And the government are supposed to represent the people of Ireland and to do the people's bidding. But this government are doing their own bidding and they're doing their own thing, and the media are complicit in going along with it. The media have not, listen, right? 30 children go missing in state care. Some are found in brothels, right? And not one media outlet has held Roderick O'Gorman, the Minister of Children, accountable for it. Ben Scallon is one who has questioned them on it. That's it. But as for the mainstream media, not one of them have actually done their jobs, right? This guy allegedly deleted emails and evidence, and yet the media in this country have stayed silent, right? And we all know what the media did during the whole pandemic. We all know what happened there as well. So the media have a lot to answer for, and the media, in my opinion, have gotten, yes, they get stick on social media and stuff like that, which they do. They get stick offers all the time. I mean, the amount of people blocked by RTE, News Talk, and every Irish Times, and all of these other outlets is actually funny. But there's never been, as I said, there's been one or two, I think it's three or something protests that have happened outside media organisations. But it needs to happen a lot more now. The media need to feel the heat and the anger of the Irish people. It's as simple as that. These people have gotten away with it for far too long, not reporting what's happening in this country. And they're covering up just like the Garda Síochána, and we know it. They're covering up just like the Garda Síochána, right, and the government, right? We've heard the stories, right? People related to those, one of the victims of the 3 kids, the mother and father allegedly were told not to make any statements or not to say anything because they didn't want to stoke tensions any further, right? And we've heard this same line being used several times throughout incidents in this country. Don't say anything. Remember, this government and the media attacked Aisling Murphy's boyfriend when he actually came out and told the truth on why she wasn't here anymore. And what did they say? What did the government say? What did Micheál Martin say and all the others say? Always let emotion get the better of him and all of this, and he shouldn't be putting out far right narratives or whatever it was, right? So they even ignored someone and belittled what that man had to say, and he lost his partner for life, right? That man will never be the same. By the way, he will never be the same, even if he ended up meeting someone again and falling in love again, right? His first love was Aisling, and he will never, ever forget her, and he'll never be the same. He'll be the shadow of a man that he was, right? And this government, right? This government that's supposed to fucking protect him, his family, and all of us, let him down. And then the media then doubled down then when they actually called them out. This is how disgusting the media are in this country. So if you can get to Dublin, if you're outside of Dublin, I know it's short notice, but if you can get to Dublin and get outside RTE by 2 p.m. tomorrow, please do. If you're in Dublin, I want to tell you now, this is one of the most important meetups that's happened in a long, long time. It really is. We have to send a message to the media. So please, 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 if you can, get there. And I'm pretty sure there'll be future ones outside all of them at the same time. I would have even said while people are at RTE, some people should go to Virgin Media up at the Ballymount Road and stand outside their studio as well. Stand outside their headquarters as well, I should say. You know, maybe when I get there, maybe that'll be something I'll discuss with some of the lads. Maybe get some people to go down to fucking the Ballymount, or maybe do it for the next one. Do them all. News Talk, Virgin Media, the Irish Times, RTE, all the main fucking culprits that spread this fear and spread this false... Listen, they talk about us putting out false information and all of this. Right, the media are the biggest culprits, and the government are the biggest culprits in this country. Right, protesting the government that doesn't work anymore, but protesting the media, put pressure on the media, is what we need to do. Because what will happen if we're outside RTE are going to have to report on it because it's outside their headquarters. They're going to have to report on it, right? So then people will be watching the news, and they'll see this. They'll see people protest, and then people will start looking. This is what it's all about. Anyway, I just wanted to come on and let you know about that and give me whole thoughts on the flag nonsense. And just what I see. Listen, the bottom line is that, you know, if we don't hop on to what's going on around us, we may as well forget about it. Everybody may as well just stay at home. I'm serious. I'm going to say everybody may as well just stay at home. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'd be calling Andy out anyway. I've already called him out, but I think people should be good. That money should be used to help homeless people. I'm sorry, buying fucking flags. Are you joking? Are you fucking joking? You could have got a load of kids. You know what you could have done? You could have got kids from all over the communities to paint up A4 paper or paint tricolours, right? You didn't have to spend 10 grand, right? That 10 grand could be used to feed, clothe, tent, sleeping bag, whatever it is a homeless person, Irish homeless person needs. Priorities are wrong, right? But as I said, this whole flag thing is a distraction tactic because Andy has managed to dupe all the say no groups and they're all going along with it. But what they don't realise is he's leading them down the garden path and it's just a distraction. It's just a distraction, right? There's far more important things to be doing than putting tricolours up everywhere, right? There's people that literally on our streets being deleted, right? And not here anymore, right? And we a winter is coming soon, right? And a lot of these people are going to have to be prepared and have enough stuff for them to survive the winter, because every winter we hear of the same story again. Another homeless person is no longer with us, right? And it's every fucking year. And every year the government make all of these promises, right? When someone dies, there's outrage, right? And then then the next day it's forgotten about, right? The next day it's forgotten about. The government keep promising action on the homeless crisis and all of this. It's lies. For decades, it's government after government have failed the Irish people. Not one of them have ever delivered on their housing targets. None of them. Yet the housing boom, that was a different story. But again, that was false economy and all of that. And we all saw what happened there. But that was probably the only time we were building when we didn't actually need any more fucking houses, because there was houses, apartment blocks fucking popping up everywhere. And then what happened then? Because some of them were thrown up so fast, they ended up being fucking dodgy. And then people were, after buying them, were forced out of their home because the developers fucked up, because the government weren't doing their jobs and making sure that everybody was fucking not cutting corners and all of this bullshit. Corruption, corruption, corruption is all we've had in this country. And it's about time now that we go to the media arm of it. Remember, RTE and the Irish government, since the formation of the state, have been joined at the hip, right? Being joined at the hip, right? You look at it, ex-politicians end up on RTE, right? Family members whose families fought during the revolution ended up on RTE, right? Listen, biggest problem we have in this country is career politicians, and RTE is full of ex-career politicians or family members who fought in the rising and beyond, right? That's what we have at RTE, and that's what we've always had at RTE. You look at it, it's generational as well. Jerry Ryan, you remember him? Jerry Ryan, sure, his daughter ended up working on RTE. But why did she end up working on RTE? It wasn't because she had talent. It was because she was Jerry Ryan's daughter. And this is the problem that we have. And even the RTE the fella that's in charge now, has said there's a possibility that Ryan Tubridy could come back to RTE. And this is how corrupt it all is. Because if he came back to RTE, I can guarantee all the boomers be like, oh, Ryan is back! Turbo Ryan Tubridy is back, yay! They'll love it, right? Right? The man did wrong, and yeah, he'd be allowed. Same with Bertie. Bertie, he had a dinner. He had a dinner because the rehabilitation. He'd been introduced to the party because he's running for president, right? And I called this when he starts speaking up again, and I said he's running for president, right? He wants to run for president. This is why they're rehabilitating him, right? The man fucking absolutely destroyed this country, but the people are so fucking stupid that if he does run for president, I can guarantee he'll get in. He'll get in. It doesn't matter how many times an Irish politician or the media lie in this country, the Irish people will just keep falling for it every fucking time. Hook, line, and sinker. And then they wonder then why the country is fucked up and why nothing gets done and why there's no change. Well, if you keep voting the same old, and you keep listening to the same bullshit from propaganda news, well, then nothing does change. And you know what? If Andy was really smart, what he could have done instead of doing the flag nonsense, he could have actually said, well, I'm going to set up a digital TV station, a digital channel, right? We're always talking about how the media control the narrative in this country and we've nothing to help us get our message out there. He could have, if he didn't want to help the homeless people, he could have fucking set a fund up to get fucking a digital channel going. I don't think it's even that much work. You get your license and all of that. You find a place to fucking have a bit of a studio and then you stick a fucking camera in there and away you fucking go, right? But as I said, priorities and the things that these nationalists are talking about, right, is not the stuff that they should be concerned about, right? They should be concentrating on delivering what they said they were going to deliver, so then Irish people can make up their minds if they're actually worth voting for. Because right now, I can tell you, right, there's only a few nationalists, if I was going to vote, that I'd give me vote to, right? But at this stage, I'm kind of thinking anyway, well, I'm probably wasting me vote. So what's the point? These people can't fucking give us what they said they were going to deliver. So, you know, not many people called them out, but look, I called the Nash. I don't give a shit. I told you I'm not here to make fucking friends, right? The bottom line is that these people are wasting your time. And until you all start calling them out about wasting your time and actually doing something proactive, well, then they're going to continue to waste your time. They're going to continue to ignore, right? So I'm just done. So I will basically go to the events that I think are worth going to and not wasting people's time. But I'm also, as I said, don't want to get into it too much, but I've been doing a lot of connecting up with people and stuff like that. So I want to get things on the move, but we got to do something, because some already believe it's too late. And you know what? If you look at it and you analyse it, probably is too late. But you know, Irish people have a knack when the chips are down and when everything seems hopeless and impossible, we seem to do something as a people and get out of it. So hopefully that is still with us. The luck of the Irish, as they say. Yeah, well, I'm actually on tonight on the other channel, the Irish Zone, Get It Off Your Chest. That's 7 for the normal stream. I just wanted to come on just briefly to speak about this. I didn't think I'd be on for 45 minutes, but there you go. But I do want to, obviously I will be on later on for Get It Off Your Chest. So if anybody's interested in coming on, we bring people on one at a time. I'm just giving everybody, that's the way we do it. I'm not changing the format. It's different when we have an open panel. It's one at a time, so everybody gets a chance to get their opinions across. So if you want to get your opinions across, well then subscribe to the Irish Zone. Get it off your chest. I'm about to put the link in now. Just bear with me for 1 second. Copy that. Thank you. And we go in there. Back. Guess who's back? There. So I'm about to put it in the link there. So this is my other channel. This is the one where the public can come on and give their opinions. This channel here is the one where I give my opinions, and you know, obviously tomorrow I will be at RTE, so there will be some footage and stuff like that. I'll see if like the last time, if I'll go live. We'll see how many actually turned up. I hope it's a big crowd, because you know, we need to send a message to RTE, so I hope loads of people show up. So if you're there tomorrow and you're in the chat, come up and say hello to me. You know, I don't buy, you know, even though it might sound like I buy, I don't buy. I'm actually really nice. I'm just very passionate and very well, as you say, I don't hold back, right? I don't hold back. I never have, and I never will. The bottom line is, I just say it as I see it, you know, and I'm just sick and tired of the same rhetoric and bullshit coming out of these people's mouth. So yeah, get there if you can. It's time that we send a message to RTE. And then I'd go one step further. I'll talk to whoever organised this, and I'll say, listen, next time we get a group to go to Virgin Media as well at the same time, the next time we call one. And I'll like, Virgin Media for me will be easier to get to than the RTE. So even if a group of people wanted to come with me to Virgin Media, we should do that. But obviously we'll see what happens tomorrow, see what kind of turnout we actually get. And then if it's worth actually, listen, I reckon we'll get a good turnout. And if it is, then I'm going to suggest that the next one that we do, that we go to half go to Virgin Media, the others go there and maybe send little groups to the Irish Times and places like that, and just have protests outside them at the same time, simultaneously. So yeah, I see Kieran has put the link in there. Thank you, Kieran. I'll put it in myself, but for some weird reason it doesn't look like it's telling me to remove it. That's a bit weird. That is weird. Right. Well, that's what a fucking idiot. See me, man, and technology. I'm fucking hopeless, I am. But there you go. Kieran's already put it in, so I don't have to put it in again. But if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't subscribed to the other channel, please do. And if you want to come on and discuss whatever you want to get off your chest tonight, you're more than welcome to do so. There's obviously lots have gone on, and you know, there's been lots lots being shared on social media and all for us to talk about. Also, you've probably seen the little video that I shared as well. So someone on X got in contact with me, a postman whose identity I'm keeping keeping hidden because they don't want to be named. But they stopped in their car and they pulled off to take a phone call. And then this bloke in the BMW just appears and starts shouting and hurling abuse. But there's a little bit more information in the video. So if you haven't checked it out, can you please share it? Because I got that sent to me by this Dublin postman. And he's, he's very worried about what's happening. And, you know, he's just doing his job and he's being abused by these burly men in BMWs, like shouting abuse at him. So that's where we're at anyway. So, yeah, 2 o'clock outside RTE. As I said, Fergus Power put up a post, 2 p.m. outside RTE. As I said, I was there at News Talk for the COVID one. And there has been, I think, 1 or 2 outside media organisations before. But I think this one now is just, you know, RTE is the main culprit, as I said. So the media need to understand. You know, we've seen the reporters and the cameramen intimidating and trying to incite the crowd. So, you know, protesting the government, obviously, you know, we've done that. It's not working, but the media have to be held to account. So, you know, I always said, like, media, you know, that's why I went to the News Talk one. That's why I went to the Garda HQ protest, because I believed in that one. We needed to change it up rather than just go after the government all the time, because that's not going to do anything. I'd even go one further and say we should be outside the NGO head offices if we know where they are, and we should be outside there. We should be protesting outside every IPAS centre as well, if we could, if possible, do that. But we definitely need to be changing it up. Protesting the government and going to the Spire and then walking to the Dáil is a waste of time. But I don't think it's a waste of time going outside RTE and expressing how angry we are. It's about time that they understood. Yeah, they get a lot of shit on social media, but there hasn't been enough of a presence outside RTE or the rest of these media organisations that have been putting out misinformation and not telling the public the truth of what's really happening in this country. So if you can make it, I'll see you all there. As I said, I am back at 7 o'clock on the other channel. So if you want to get subscribing, please do. And as I said, it's get it off your chest. We bring one person on at a time. If you want to get your opinions and points of view across or get something off your chest, that's the place to do it. So, well, Paul, listen, mate, you know, the bottom line is that that's what people are doing. They're going to RTE. So if you think it's a waste of time, then that's fine, fair enough. But I'm going to be there. And we all know that social media plays a big part in misinformation and stuff. We've known that for years. Zuckerberg is the biggest culprit. But there's nothing we can actually do about a big giant corporation like Facebook. So we can only do what we can. And, you know, RTE is actually in a weakened position. Also, the government want to give RTE a bailout. So, I mean, you know, we can stay silent and not do anything about it, or we can let RTE know that, you know, that the Irish people are not happy with them and a bailout is not going to be tolerated. So, you know, that's where I am on it. That's my stance. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Again, as I said, you know, those platforms may be censoring, but I don't really use Facebook. RTE is in my country, and RTE is the one that's actually doing stuff and not reporting. So I think that's important to highlight. As I said, some people may not agree with people going to RTE, but I'm going to RTE and I'll be there because I believe in it and I think it's the right thing to do. At the end of the day, we can't do anything about Google and we can't do anything about Facebook. We can't do anything about those companies until we have a nationalist government in place. So let's try and do the things that we can affect. RTE are looking for a bailout, and the bottom line is that the Irish people should send RTE a message and the government a message that no bailout is going to be acceptable. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You have made your point, but the bottom line is that, as I said, we can't affect Google, right? And we can't affect Facebook until we get people in there that can actually hold these companies to task. What we can do is we can hold RTE to task and voice our displeasure at them. And I as I said, we can all sit at home and do nothing then if that's the case. We got to do something. There's nobody else out there offering solutions. So, people can say, this doesn't work and that doesn't work. But the bottom line is people are offering solutions and offering things that they think that might have an impact, whether you agree with it or not. But people are doing stuff. So, as I said, I think everybody should get to RTE and let RTE know how they feel. Right, so as I said, I will be back later on tonight on Get It Off Your Chest. So if you want to come on and give you your opinion, you're more than welcome to do so. What are you looking at out there? The dog is looking out the bleeding window there. You having a good time, buddy? Yeah. Yeah, but like we've protested outside the doll. I know, I get what you're saying. Protest outside the Department of Justice, but that won't make a difference because Helen McEntee doesn't give a shit. So we're actually wasting people's time going to the Department of Justice because we've been outside the doll how many times now? Like people should be outside the Department of Children as well because of the whole Roderick O'Gorman stuff. But again, to waste the time, the government have made it clear that they're doing their own thing. They're not listening to people. So actually protesting outside those departments is a waste of time. All that will happen is the public order unit will be called and there'll be scuffles outside and then the media will get what they want. RTE. Well, look, I'm going. I don't know what all the negativity is over the protest at RTE. So, as I said, I'll be there. I didn't say all the tech codes. See again, Paul. Again, you know, I've noticed this with you. Like, you come in, you say something, you don't really offer any solutions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're saying, you're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that the tech companies get a pass. There's nothing we could do about the tech companies. They're multi-billion-dollar companies, right? We're not going to be able to affect them in any way, right? We need a government in place to do that, and right now we don't have one, right? Sure, Apple, Google, and all of these other companies owe the Irish government billions, right? And is the Irish government putting pressure on them to give them the money? No. So we're wasting their time. What do you think we're going to do? Protest outside Google, protest outside Facebook. What do you think that's going to do? Nothing. Nothing. Zuckerberg will do what Zuckerberg does, and Google will do what Google does, right? And the only way that we get them out of here and we affect some sort of change is by getting a nationalist government in place. And again, what can we do about people, foreign nationals buying land in this country? Nothing. Again, we need a government in place to stop all of that. So, you know, these things are not going to do nothing. You could protest outside all of these places and whatever. What's it actually going to do? RTE are complicit because they go along with it and they cover up crimes. Of course, the media should be called out. Right? There's nothing we could do about Google, and there's nothing we could do about Facebook. Right? It's up to individual countries to do it. We've seen Brazil, they've gotten rid of X out of Brazil. If you have a government that has a backbone, then you get this stuff done. But we don't have a government with a backbone, so they're not going to do anything about them. So until we get a nationalist government in that holds Facebook to task, holds Google to task for all the censorship, then we're not going to get anywhere. We have to pull out of Europe as well. That's the biggest culprit out of the whole lot. No, you divided the groups at the Dáil about 9 months ago when you called to go to the ports, when you knew that day at the Dáil was for the whole day. Yeah, I did, because we weren't making a difference at the Dáil, and I thought we should close down the ports. I mean, he's going to attack me now for coming up with solutions and ideas. Is that what we're doing now? Is it? Because considering what's happened over the last couple of days, and you know what I'm talking about, I've been very actually calm and haven't said anything. Right? So the bottom line is I'm going to RTE and I'm going to do what I think will make a difference. And it will at RTE. RTE need to understand, right? We got to do something, not just sit on our arses. I'm not saying you sit on your arse, by the way, but I'm just saying a lot of people out there do. We've got to do something. The media are just as complicit in all of this. They've covered up the most heinous crimes. They've reported on us and put targets on our backs. Yes, there should be some pushback against the media. We cannot do anything about the YouTube censorship, the Google censorship, or the Facebook censorship, or Instagram. Right? Nothing we could do about it. Well, we blocked the port, didn't we? We blocked the port, didn't we? It did make a difference. We blocked the port and we made a lot of people angry. And I said we should have doubled down on that. No, I'm not. No, listen. If you want to air dirty laundry out in public, let's do it. Right? Let's tell people how you kicked me out of a group because I said we were in a group. Right? If that's the way you want to play it, let's do it. right? And anytime anybody offers suggestions, Paul always comes back with something negative and never offers solutions himself, right? Do you want to do this? Let's do it. I know what you are playing at, right? You want to turn people against me, right? And I don't know what you are for. Why you are doing that, right? As I said, right, the bottom line is, I said we got to do something, right? We all met up, we did, right? And we agreed on certain things. But as soon as I start talking about it, you just kicked me out. You just kicked me out of the group. Even though I was the one that said, let's start the group in the first place. Let's get a group of people together. Let's make a fucking change in the country. But you just kicked me out. There's nothing about ego. I don't have an ego, right? I don't have an ego. I'm trying to fucking do something out there where anytime I suggest something, someone comes back with something negative all the time, right? And don't offer any solutions themselves. They say they're not political, but are in every fucking bleeding channel and every fucking political conversation. And then criticises those who actually come up with solutions or try to do something. And they mightn't all work, but at least people are trying something. Yeah, I said I'd do my thing, but that didn't mean that I wanted out of the group. But you just threw me out of the group, right? So don't be sitting there acting all. You just threw me out of the group because you didn't want me to say that we were in a group. So what's the point of being in a group if you're going to say that you're going to try and help? And then when I tried to get the information out there so people can help us and support us, and then you said, no, don't say anything. I haven't even opened my mouth when that happened. I kept it to myself. I kept the peace, but I'm not going to have this anymore, man. I'm not going to have people just poking at me all the time, like having it in for me because I'm saying I'm going this, there, and everywhere. If you don't agree with me, that's fine, right? But offer a fucking solution. Don't be negative all the time. Well, I have got things organised because while this kicked me out, I was actually meeting people and I would have shared, and I was about to actually share the fact that I was about to secure funding to help fund the homeless people in this country, but just kicked me out of the group. So it's grand. I will do my own thing. You do it your way and I'll do it my way. And I'm not fighting with anybody, but don't come in here and make it out that I'm trying to divide groups when you were the ones that kicked me out of a group for saying we were in a group. I haven't got time for this bullshit. I haven't got time to be fighting with anybody either or having these little fucking disagreements, right? The bottom line is we got to fucking do something, right? And that's what it is to me. And I don't care if people think it's a waste of time. I don't think it's a waste of time protesting outside the media because we've protested outside the government fucking buildings long enough. Or we've went to the Garden Remembrance and we've went to the Customs House enough times now. But we haven't really concentrated on the media in this country or protested them enough. Right? Because nothing else has got... Look at... The bottom line is that I know the solution, what everybody wants, right? But the Irish people don't have a backbone to do it. So it's never going to happen. So what we're going to do is we have to do what we can do, right? Because if you think Irish people are going to William Wallace it, right, and get out there and fight and stand up and fight, well, then I'm telling you, they're not seeing it because they're not going to get up. They don't have the backbone anymore. So if they're not going to fight and we're not voting their way out of this, right, then what else have we got left? So we do what we can, right? People are doing stuff in their communities. This is another part of it, right? There's Fergus is setting up his security firm, right, which isn't a company because he's not actually negotiating contracts. He's actually in his community, so he's not negotiating a contract. So it's not a proper business, right? It's not a proper business. It's a security company, right? But it's not the type of security company that bids for contracts, because I work for security companies, right? Okay, they all have to do their license and all of that, but they're not being paid. It's all voluntary, and all the people that are in the communities then that are working on this, as I said, don't get a shilling, right? It's not a proper company. There's no money to be made here. Any money that comes in is from donations to pay for uniforms or whatever it is. That's it. But nobody gets paid. It's all voluntary. I did not remove myself from the group. Don't lie there and say I removed myself. I didn't remove myself because Kieran came to me and said that there was something going on. And then when I went to go back into the group, I seen I was kicked. Don't be saying I left the group. I didn't leave the group. I wouldn't have left the group anyway. Right? Just because I said I was doing my own thing, right? I was going to do it my way because I didn't like the way it was going down. I didn't leave no groups. Don't make it out I left the group. And I'll say it to your face as well. I didn't leave no fucking group. I got kicked from the group because you didn't want me to say anything. I'm not a fucking lawyer, right? And don't even insinuate I'm a lawyer. I did not remove myself from that group. I got kicked. I didn't remove myself. You can keep saying it. I didn't remove myself from the group, right? I didn't remove myself. And you can keep saying it and you can keep pushing that lie. I didn't remove myself from the group. I wish I could actually prove it. Because I would. I'd throw the screenshot up because you know me. Right? I got kicked from that group. Right? I didn't even know what the fuck was going on because when Kieran told me that there was trouble in the group, I was like, what's going on? And then I actually thought I got kicked from the group. All because I wanted to tell people that we were coming together and we were going to formulate ideas and we were going to try we were going to get people's support. So you removed me from the group then? So you're admitting you removed me? I said I was doing my own thing. That didn't mean that I wanted to be removed from the group, right? I know what I said, right? I know what I said, right? Because it's funny because when I got removed from the group, very few people that were in that group were actually talking to me after the fact. I noticed that as well. There was a few that kept in touch with me. Iris D, Tara, and Kieran. I'm not angry. I just don't like being accused of being a liar, right? And it being framed that I left a group when I didn't leave a group, right? The bottom line is, I like these people in the group. We all want to make a fucking change. We all want to make a fucking difference, right? But we should be able to fucking talk about it. It's not a big secret. As I said, like, if people are not willing to put their necks on the line, right, then there's no point. There's no point. And if people have a lot to lose, then I get that. But don't say you're being part of a group if you're not willing to do what needs to be done. And we need to communicate with our audiences, let them know what we're doing, so we can get the support that we need. I don't want to sort of be fighting with anybody. You all fucking know that. You all know me, for fuck's sake. We spent fucking time with each other. You all know how passionate I am. You all know what I want to do here, right? No, it's not. You won't take responsibility. Do you know what? Forget about it. Forget about it now. I'm not going to discuss it any further. It's done. It's clear to me that yous are up to something, right? Simple as that, right? Yous are framing this completely fucking wrong, and I'm not going to tolerate. So I'm not going to speak about it anymore. I'm done. I'm done. As I said, I will do my own thing, which I am doing. And you will have details on that as soon as I have details, folks, because, you know, we're going to need all your support out there. Well, you are acting like it, so, you know, and as I said, I'll say it to you, our faces as well. I don't really give a shit. He's actually going to accuse me of shit, right? Bottom line. And I didn't even share the photograph, so what he's even, I mean, I don't even know why that's being brought up for. We went out for a few drinks, and now, like, we can't share that we were a happy little group at that time. But you know what I mean? Okay, fair enough. And we were in a group. A people in a group is a group. And we even named it at the Garden Remembrance, you remember? So don't tell me it's not a group. Don't be lying, right? We all said it, and there's loads of witnesses there. But if you want to go against me, that's fine, right? But you all were there when we named the group, so don't be saying it's not a group when we literally said it was a group at the Garden Remembrance. So I remember everything that happened. So I remember all the conversations that were had, right? And there's the true nature of it all. I knew it was as soon as I set up memberships on the other channel that this was going to come up, because that's exactly what it's all about, isn't it? Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you later on at 7 for Get It Off Your Chest. Have a good evening. And I'll see any of you there that are going to the Garda station. I will talk to you tomorrow, 2 p.m.